Today's lesson is the review for quiz 9-2. For question number 1 on today's quiz, it says triangle ABC and triangle XYZ are similar. Find the missing side lengths. We're going to set up a proportion to find the missing side length, which is the question mark. I'm going to go ahead and call it X. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the statement, how they named the two triangles, to mark the equal angles, which will then allow me to mark the sides that are proportional to one another. So A is equal to X because they're the first letters. B is equal to Y because they're the second letters in the names of the two triangles. And the last letters C and Z are going to be equal to each other. Now for my sides, I'm going to pair them up as AB would go with XY because they have the 1 and the 2. The X that I'm going to use, BC, is going to pair up with YZ because they have the 2 and the 3 angle marks. And lastly, AC, that was a little long, AC is going to match with XZ because they have the 1 and the 3. Now I do have to use the blues. The blues are going to create my first proportion, my first ratio. And like I've always been saying, I like to put X on top and the 72 on the bottom. So I have to pay attention to what triangle I put where in this ratio. So for the top triangle, for X, it came from triangle ABC, and for the 72, it came from triangle XYZ. When I create my second ratio for my proportion, I need to keep in mind that the top needs to be from triangle ABC. I can pick the purple or the pink. They both have a number. And then I need to use their corresponding color from XYZ, and they both have a number as well. So it's my choice. Let's go ahead and use the purple. So I would put 5 on the top, the purple 5, because that's from triangle ABC, and I would put the 45 on the bottom. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross multiply. Remember, you are just multiplying the numerator times the denominator, crisscross. There we go. That's what the actual multiplication looks like. I would end up with 45x is equal to 360. 5 times 40 is 72. And then I would simply just divide by 45 to get the value of x, which is your missing side, the question mark. I did get a whole number for this answer. I do believe that Alex has in the toolbox the fraction, so if you do get a decimal, please go ahead and make sure you change it to a fraction. All right, question number 2, and I do believe question number 3 are going to look like this. You're going to have some kind of similar triangles. I know they are similar because these two angles right here are vertical, and then we have the pair of 90 degrees. So these two triangles are similar by angle, which means I can set up a proportion and cross multiply to find the value of x. I'm going to go ahead and use my highlighters to help me decide what side is equal to what side. Well, this right here is the hypotenuse of my right triangle, the smaller one on the top, and it's going to go with this hypotenuse on this bigger right triangle on the bottom. And then this is a leg, and this is a leg. Now, we have set up before where we did the purple on one side and the blue on the other. I just want to show you another way that you can set up your proportion. You could go ahead and find the x, which is down here, and you can make these two sides into a fraction. So I'm going to go ahead and put x over 3. And now what I'm keeping in mind is that I am using the hypotenuse and I'm using the leg. And I'm doing this all in the same triangle. So for the other one, I'm going to go to the same triangle and I'm going to put the hypotenuse on top and I'm going to put the leg on the bottom. So if I go to the other triangle, oh, no, let me grab my laser. I have to put 5 on the top and 2.5 on the bottom because I'm putting hypotenuse on the top, leg on the bottom. Okay, this will work as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. Let me show you the actual multiplication. I get 2.5x is equal to 15. 5 times 3 is 15. And I'm simply going to divide both sides by 2.5. I do end up with x is equal to 6. And once again, if you do get a decimal, go ahead and use Desmos to change that into a fraction if that's what's in the toolbar in Alex. Now you could have gone ahead and set this up as x over 5, the purple over the purple, and 3 over 2.5. I just want to show you that I'm still multiplying x times 2.5 like I would right here, and I'm still multiplying 5 times 3 like I did right here, 5 times 3. So it doesn't matter how you set it up, it's that multiplication that is important. All right, question number 4 is the word problem about the pole in either a tower or a building. And I don't have question number 5 on here because I do believe question number 5 mimics this one. I would really suggest that you grab yourself a piece of paper and that you draw what the word problem is talking about, and then go ahead and set up your proportions. So that's what I'm going to do. A pole that is 3.2 meters tall casts a shadow that is 1.45 meters long. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a pole. Don't laugh. I'm not an artist, but there's my pole, and there's its shadow. And I'm going to go ahead and label it. And if I need to, I could even write the word pole right here. This is my pole. At the same time, a nearby tower casts a shadow that is 45.25 meters long. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the tower, which of course is much, much larger than my pole. I don't know how to draw a tower, guys. I can draw a water tower, but it just said a tower. So there's my tower. And here's its shadow. I don't know, I guess it would be skinnier. There we go. The shadow is 45.25 meters long. And it says, how tall is the tower? So that is my X. And then it does say right here, round your answer to the nearest meter. That means they don't want any kind of decimal. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set up a proportion. And let me grab my darker color here. There we go. Now, one thing that I can do is I can go ahead and set up the height over the shadow, the height over the shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to say the height of the pole over its shadow is equal to the height of the tower over its shadow. My proportions, my ratios are made in the same manner. I have the height on the top of both, and I have the shadows on the bottom of both. And then, of course, this one is talking about the pole, and this one is talking about the tower. I guess I should write the word that this is the tower for you. All right, guys, let's go ahead and just cross multiply. Remember, you just multiply the numerator of one fraction times the denominator of the other, crisscross. That gives me, and if I multiply this out, I get 144.8. I'm going to go ahead and divide by 1.45. And I'm going to put it right here. X is equal to, this is the decimal that I got. And it does repeat. It says round to the nearest meter. That means I want to go right here to the number before the decimal and I want to round it. So I'm going to look to the first number right after. This is the number that's going to tell me if I should leave the 9 a 9 or if I should make the 9 a 10. 8 is 5 or more, so I'm going to go ahead and make that 9 a 10, which makes the other 9 a 10, which means I would give an answer of about 100 meters for this one. Okay, shadow, height over shadow, height over shadow. One shape to the other. The pole to either the tower or the building. All right, the last question on your quiz today is going to see if you can tell me that you know the three shortcuts for telling me that the triangles are congruent, or sorry, similar. So decide if the triangles are similar. If they are similar, write a similarity statement. They're going to have you just finish it and state the reason justifying the similarity. If necessary, you may learn what the markings in the figure indicate. Okay, so I guess you could click that. All right, so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to look at the two triangles and you're going to have to ask yourself, what's marked? What do I know? Well, I know that the sides of this triangle are 4, 5, and 6, and I know that the sides of this triangle are 10, 12, and 15. So I have 3 sides, no angles. I'm going to try side, side, side. It doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that's what I'm going to try. When I try side, 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 remember I'm going to make my 3 fractions. So I'm going to say the smallest side to the smallest side, and I'm going to make that into a fraction. So let's go ahead and do that. 4 over 10 would reduce to 2 over 5. Then I'm going to grab the middle numbers, which would be 5 and 12, and I'm going to make them into a fraction. I have to put 5 on top, 12 on the bottom. 5 over 12 stays 5 over 12. Take a look at these two fractions. Are they the same? No, they're not. These are not equal. And I don't even have to do the last one because I already know that it's going to be not similar. It doesn't matter what 6 over 15 reduces to, even if it is 2 over 5, not similar. All right, let's take a look at the next one. In the next set, I can see that I have a right angle and a right angle, and then I have 2 other angles that are not equal. So I have only angles, no sides. So I am going to try angle, angle. One thing that I do have to remember for angle, angle is that triangles add to 180 degrees. That's one thing that I have to remember. Okay, so it doesn't matter which triangle I pick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say 90 plus 55 is 145. And then I'm going to say 180 minus 145 is equal to 35. So this angle right here is 35 degrees. And look what I have. I have 35 and 35, and I have 90 and 90. These two triangles are similar, and they are similar by angle, angle. That's the one I'm going to pick. Now, when I name them, I have to pay attention to how Alex has named the one that they've named. So they have named JKL, and they have named it from J to K to L. So J is the 55, which would match with H. So I would put H first. Then K is the 90 degrees, so I would put I next. And then, of course, L is the 35, which is going to match with G. So lastly, I would put G. Okay, in the last set of triangles that I have, there is absolutely nothing marked. There's nothing marked. So no markings. When there are no markings, we are going to try angle, angle. What we are going to look for, we're going to look for vertical angles. And I do have them. I do have vertical angles right here at Z. So those two angles are congruent because they are vertical angles. Okay. Then I'm going to look to see if there are parallel lines so that I can look for my alternate interior angles or my corresponding angles. Ooh, I don't know if I can squeeze it in there. Okay. Notice there are no parallel lines. This angle and this line, they're not, that side and that side, they're not parallel. These two sides intersect at Z, as do these two sides intersect at Z. I can't do these. There's nothing else. I can't figure out the length of these two like I could up here. And likewise, I can't find them here. I'm going to go and say not similar, or they're not necessarily similar. They didn't give me enough information. Good luck, guys.